Right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. The Gallagher Premiership is back and ready to go for the 2022-2023 season. It's a big match as one of the openers, Exeter Chiefs versus Leicester Tigers. Now, there was a rearrangement, which meant that Bath versus Saracens is actually going to be taking place a little bit later on today. Or sorry, that's actually Bath versus Bristol Bears that will be rearranged. But Exeter Chiefs versus Leicester, this one could be an absolutely terrific match to start us off for the Gallagher Premiership. Currently 2 a.m. here in New Zealand, which is considered a nice early morning start for ourselves on the Kiwi Lads channel. But this is the Exeter side that they have gone with a few of the big names missing, such as Stuart Hogg, one of the players who isn't going to be there, but instead Joe Simmons there at number 15. Keep a close eye on Solomoni Kata at number 12. Normally tears it up in the New Zealand domestic competition. Actually was playing for Auckland, which is nice to see that he has signed for the Exeter Chiefs. Also, a couple other very talented players in that back line, Jack Knoll and Ollie Woodburn. Then looking through at the Leicester Tigers, the defending champs, missing a few of their internationals, such as a Jesper Visa, one of the main names that we do spot straight away. Ben Young's a very experienced halfback, still there at number 9. Harry Potter out on the wing, Chris Ashton and Jimmy Gothiff, actually one of the new signings for the Leicester Tigers. Then the benches, they are going to be just looking like this. They've got Rory O'Loughlin off the bench. He could be a very handy man, of course, playing for Leinster, not too long ago. Ewers as well. And then Kokanasiga and Murray Valu, the back replacements for the Leicester Tigers. But nonetheless, match is just about to get underway. We have got Novmum here. Good morning to you too, Novmum. Hope you are doing very well on this nice early morning. Are we on Saturday or Sunday? We're on Sunday. See, that's the thing. We've done that much sevens and that much random hour of the night sport. I forgot what day it was, but that is all right because this game, I think it's going to be an awesome one to start us off for the Premiership. One moment. We all go like this. Always the way, isn't it? You don't have a nose running at all until the start of the live stream. I'm just trying to get rid of that little tiny... Oh, there we go. I think I fixed it. That'll do. Currently in the England versus South Africa test match, for anyone wondering, England bowling extremely well, bowling out the South Africans by 118. So now they are actually at the crease. Zach Crawley and Alex Lees, for anyone. Oh, it's back. Also, good morning, says Novmum. So yeah, I hope you are doing very well. Are you staying up all night, Novmum, or are you only watching a little bit of the sport and then head into bed? Do let me know, because we have got sevens. It's going to be the quarterfinals early in the morning on Sunday morning, I guess it would be. And then also alongside that, there's NRL tomorrow afternoon. Hopefully we're going to be able to cover at least one of the games of the NRL either this weekend or last weekend. We did a little bit on the sport channel, then went over to the sevens, but they've had the minute silence. Of course, the tragic news that was the Queen passing away a little bit earlier on in the week, and also not sure. We'll see how I go, says Novmum. And there, so they are now singing God Save the Queen. This game was going to be kicking off at 2 a.m., but I believe 2:05 is going to be a more accurate time. Also, I should mention that alongside that, we are going to be keeping you guys updated on all of the other matches of the Gallagher Premiership, because they decide to have them overlap. That's the one thing that I don't like about the Gallagher Premiership, is there's like 3 or 4 games at once, so you can't watch them all simultaneously, at least not on my Sky subscription. They do only show the one. I've just seen Jack Knowles' ear. That man has tattoos inside of that part. That must have hurt. But then saying that, if you see how many he's had on his side, I'm sure it wouldn't be too much of a problem. But also we have got there, well, that's a negative record for the Proteas in the series, bloody hell, says Sebastian. Yeah, not too great for the Proteas, unfortunately, getting bowled out that early. I woke up at about maybe 12:30 a.m. after a nice long slumber, and I woke up and saw they were 6 down or whatever it was, and I was like, hang on, that can't be right, can it? 6 down at this point in the time. But I guess both sides want to try and keep it to 3 days. But it seems like there is a good chance that that could be happening. But it looks like they're going upstairs for something here in the cricket. Oh, I've got it up in the top corner. Yep, they are. They're just going to be checking something, but we will keep you updated with the cricket and what is happening there. And also, bloody hell, see that Melbourne Stockade in here. I believe, are you watching, watching top 14 if I'm not wrong, Xavier? Do let me know how that game's going between La Rochelle and I believe it was Lyon, wasn't it? The other team that we're playing in that one. What we're going to do is we're going to go like this. and like that. And like that, there we go. We have got all of our, and La Rochelle dominating Lyon in the top 14. So it is hopefully going to be a little bit of a comeback. Do they still have Tuisova in the Lyon team? That's going to be kicked off, and Exeter Chiefs almost able to retain it, but Ollie Woodburn with a little half knock on. Leicester Tigers now in possession in the hands of Tommy Reffel. It looks like Ben Youngs be setting up for the box kick just outside of the 22. And I was live then, gave up because I felt like, so hopefully you are feeling a little bit better, Xavier. Is it the lack of sleep, or do you think it's just because it must be quite late for you? That's a brilliant run up the middle from Joe Simmons, because you're based out of Melbourne, so it must be 12 at the moment for you, if I'm not wrong. Nice run from Johnny Gray. This is good attack and play from the Exeter Chiefs. They need to make sure that they take it to the defending champs early on. Leicester Tigers, they were never really troubled last year, always making points up. And I have, oh yeah, geez, that would have been a tough live stream to do if you were having COVID. You should probably be sleeping, I would think, rather than live streaming, just to make sure that you protect your body from any further damage, I guess you could say. My body's decided that it wants to have a nose that keeps on running for this early morning live stream. Nice work currently from the Exeter Chiefs. They will win the penalty. Now, for half a second, I thought that Stuart Townsend was going to take the quick tap. I've been watching too much sevens. And what a moment before the game, had a minute of silence and God Save the Queen was sung for the first time since all of us were born. Sebastian. Now, it's going to be looking like a Joe Simmons penalty kick here from straight out in front, but it was a great take at fullback. Now, him and Stuart Hogg, they'll be jockeying for the same position. I'm not sure where Hogg is at the moment. I don't know whether that's injury-based or whether he is just out due to some sort of, I guess, absence. So I know that some of the international players do have to wait a little bit longer. Bath game is not being shown on TV, says Melbourne Stockade. Yeah, it's a shame. They rearranged it. Oh, that was a boot to the... Solomon Cutter just stood on a man's moneymaker, or his baby maker, I guess I should call it. The fourth premiership start at fullback, which is expected for Joe Simmons, when at the end of the day, if Stuart Hogg's in your side, it's going to be hard to kick him out of the starting lineup. But Simmons looks like he's come to play for this first match. And now lines up the kick and gets Exeter Chiefs take the lead for the first time in the Gallagher Premiership for 2022-2023. So the two other games that are taking place at the moment, there is going to be the London Irish versus Worcester, Newcastle versus Harlequins. That's a game that they're not actually showing on New Zealand TV, sadly. Unless they've lost so much talent, never say never, but I can't see them retaining the title this season, says Sebastian. Because who have they lost? They've lost... There's actually, like you said, there's quite a list. They've lost Alice Genge, first and foremost, so they did have to have a new captain, which I believe they have given it to Hanro Leibenberg now. Alongside him, they still got Jasper Wiese. They still have him, or has he gone somewhere else? I know that he won't be there currently due to the South African tour up against the Argentina side in the Rugby Championship. Nicely kicked him behind. Now Leicester Tigers have cleaned that one up. It was Ben Youngs at the back. Now gives it off to Freddie Burns, who's given it a nice strike over the top of Jack Knoll, who has to go back and clean it up, or else could have been close to a 50-22. Now 3.5 minutes gone. Going to be kicked back downfield to, I believe, Chris Ashton. Like I mentioned, my nose wasn't running before I started the live stream. Maybe I'm just too excited for the Premiership, and for some reason, the only way my body knows how to tell me that is to make my nose run. Don't think that's the case. That's a 50-22 attempt. It's going to be just outside. And also, how are you watching this? So I am watching this on Sky Sport 9 here in New Zealand. But depending on where you are in the world, there are a few different options. My tongue's not working either, but they are being shown on Stan Sport. From Melbourne Stockade. Therefore, if you're in Australia, depends on where you are, Keno, do let me know. And George Ford says, Sebastian, yeah, that's a big hit for them at number 10. So I assume Freddie Burns is going to probably take that leading fly half responsibility. Although they signed Pollard, didn't they? They got Pollard. I think they've got Pollard at the Leicester Tigers, if I'm not wrong. They managed to sign him from Montpellier. So he will be one, does join up with the squad in the next maybe month or so. He might get a couple cracks, although he's actually injured currently, Andre Pollard, so maybe a bit longer. And I'm UK, says Keno BK. Right, UK, I believe it's on be in sport as an option. And also we have got, when does the Super Rugby season start? It is going to be starting in February. So about maybe third week of February, I believe, is the first round of Super Rugby Pacific. So we've got a little bit of time to wait. And Tigers player, I swear, just broke his arm, says Melbourne Stockade. And also, hi everyone, come on you Tigers, says Anthony. And also, good morning, Hamish. Are we live? We certainly are. And it is the first game of the Gallagher Premiership. Would have been the second, but they did have that situation of, the massive news of Queen Elizabeth II passing away. That throws about as straight as a bendy ruler, so that one should have possibly been called as not straight, but it is going to be play on just for now. Townsend fires it back across. We have also got there, those who were born today could theoretically live through 3 kings, says Novmum. Very true. That's the thing. I don't know much about the royal family other than the ones at the very, very top. But other than that, I'm pretty shocking when it comes to the history of the royals. I hardly know New Zealand's history, which is a bit poor, I would think. And which player was it, Melbourne Stockade, who you thought broke his arm at Townsend, about to roll it back for the Exeter Chiefs, puts it up high. Chasing after this one hard it is. Going to be Ollie Hepburn, who's lined him up. Nice shot. Driving him. Or Woodburn, sorry. I remember we actually had a Hepburn in our cricket team, although his first name wasn't Ollie. Now, rolling back, Ben Young's experience. I mean, you can't buy that much experience. The English most capped number 9, the most capped Englishman. And are you a big rugby fan? I certainly am. It is 2 a.m. here in New Zealand at the moment, but we are going to be up all night doing not just this match, and then also we've got about 7 or 8 other rugby sevens fixtures that we are doing for the Cape Town Sevens World Cup. So we are going to be up pretty much all night, just like we were last night, right the way through. And then by the end of the World Cup games, I believe I would have been up for about 32 hours doing rugby live streams. And also, the Chiefs player that was holding his arm, says Melbourne Stockade. I didn't actually catch that. I think I might have been reading the chat at the same time. It's going to be Yandel actually having to play halfback now. Now, Townsend gets to the breakdown, about to kick this one up high, just outside of their 22-metre line. And also Australia versus New Zealand Thursday. It is the Bledisloe Cup, going to be a 9:35 p.m. kickoff, I believe, here in New Zealand. Penalty to the Leicester Tigers on halfway. My nose, I can already tell, is going to be that one annoying factor for throughout all of these live streams. I don't know why it's running either, because I've been sleeping all day. So there's no chance of me getting any pollen or anything, even though it's overcast here anyway. That might be why. Kicked into touch by the Leicester Tigers. I'm going to the Bledisloe, says Melbourne Stockade. And also IT win. IT win? Oh, Leicester Tigers win. I've just worked it out. That isn't an I, that is instead a lowercase L. Back across. Freddie Burns goes for the little chip and chase. It looked like it was Tempin bowling in the midfield. Everyone falling over. Now, kicking back downfield by Joe Simmons. Currently going up and down with the up and under for Freddie Burns. Unable to take it, but instead it is the big lock. I believe that would have been, that would have been Jans Kirsten to take that one. The big number 6 blindside flanker. Ball bouncing up nicely for the youngster Harry Potter. He had a great season last year. Taken at the back by Skinner. That's a big kick. It's going to be a hard one to take, but Ben Youngs has been able to clean it up comfortably. Currently just a kicking battle between these two sides. Queen's lineup looks like no Smith, Keir, Liner, or Esterhazen. So what? This is going to sound this will show my lack of knowledge for the Premiership. So why don't they have Keir, Smith, and Liner? Is it because they were selected in the English side from ages ago, or is it because of something else that they aren't able to play? Especially, are they all injured? Because if they are, that would be a big hit. Because I know Esterhazen's with South Africa, but I'm not sure about the other 3 in terms of the reasons why they're not in there, other than maybe resting. Or it could actually be strategic, maybe because November internationals are just around the corner. They don't want to rely on those main players. I've only seen Wasps and Exeter play, says Keno BK. Yeah, Jimmy Goffiff, the Wasp player, actually making his way to the Leicester Tigers to join up in the midfield. Going to be playing at number 12 And also we have got they're not injured. No international fixtures either. Yeah. So I don't know whether or not, because I remember there was that thing with the layoffs for international players in Super Rugby. So maybe there's a ruling that they have to have a certain amount of rounds before you can bring them back. Because I was thinking the same thing with Stuart Hogg for the Exeter Chiefs. I don't believe he's injured, but also he isn't there for this match. Exeter Chiefs currently leading 3-0. It was good kick downfield from Freddie Burns, who found the touchline. It's been touched. There's the comment there. And also we have got, they stole our halfback Joe Powell, says Melbourne Stockade. Couple big signings coming to Super Rugby, of course. Kurtley Beale heading to the Waratahs. That's going to be an awesome one to see. And also he's in the Wallabies for the Bledisloe Cup team. So it will be interesting to see how he goes. That, once again, isn't the straightest throw I have ever seen. But Solomon Ikata cleans it up, although the penalty goes the way of the Leicester Tigers. And Joe Marchant is on the bench. I'm not even sure if the Quins are keen on this game, says Sebastian. Well, theoretically, they don't have to do well in the first half because second half is just their bread and butter. So maybe they're just saving everyone for the upcoming one. And what's your opinion about the ref, Hamish? Our ref interfered too much, says Spider-Man. I think it depends on the game, but a lot of referees do have different opinions on what is a penalty and what is play on. And I think that's where the problem lies. It's not so much the referees themselves. It's just the law book is written so that it should be black and white, but every referee has their own take on it, which makes it very grey. But like, the end of the day, sometimes a game is impacted by the ref, but also, like, it's easy to blame a ref, but not blame the fact that a team's dropped the ball 15 times. You know? They might have one penalty against them that people don't agree with. No one looks at the fact that they've been handling it like they're playing with a bar of soap. And also apparently no Lyle Lolesio for AB's game one. Oh, so that opens up the door for Bernard Foley, doesn't it? Or maybe, who else they got? Because James O'Connor's not in the side. Quade Cooper's not there. Lolesio, if he's missing, then you're also going to have, I guess, Bernard Foley and Reece Hodge maybe, and then could possibly drop Kurtley Beale to fullback. Might be an option. Nicely struck by Freddie Burns. He has got that one over, and that is going to make the score now 3 points each in this game. I do see that the scoreboard has not realised. There we go. Has realised now that both teams have been able to get the points on the board. That man has brought his flags and his tiger to the game. Be very welcome at a Bangladesh test match. And Alex Lees has gone absolutely terrible. Both openers, Crawley, will follow along shortly. And McDermott at 10, says Melbourne Stockade. I don't know whether they'd risk giving McDermott that 10 spot. Although, to be fair, the halfbacks, Nick White and Jake Gordon in that last game, due to all the injuries, did have to pretty much just juggle. They were fly halves, they were wings, they were halfback, they were pretty much anywhere in that back line that they needed someone. But McDermott, I don't know whether or not they'd give him the chance at 10. I would rather see him get to start at 9 or come off the bench at 9 than be the fly half, just because I feel he's got a lot more talent when it comes to sniping around the side of the breakdown, which could certainly help them up against the ABs. Big kick downfield, nicely taken. So far, there have been no points scored in the London Irish Worcester game or the Harlequins versus Newcastle. So all very slow starts, slow build-ups into the Gallagher Premiership. 13 and a half minutes through. This game is actually the only game that's had points, sitting 3-3 in there as well. But England, they got off to a pretty quick start. At the moment, mine is frozen on 17 for none off 2.5, but I assume they're a little bit later. And put Tupou at 10, certainly be a scary sight. Having Taniela Tupou charging at you in the number. I mean, can they find a number 10 jersey big enough to put Taniela Tupou in is probably the bigger question. The win predictor for a home win is 72%, away win 26%, and a draw 2%. So that is actually the win predictor for the whole season for whether you're at home, away, which just makes an away win so much more impressive because 26% is not very high at all. Capsticks just had a shocker. It's gone backwards. They've actually got the advantage as it was slapped down by an offside player. Now the back line looking to open up here for the Exeter Chiefs. And winning with the carry. Right, they are going back to where it was, and it's going to be Townsend. Townsend. That's a familiar last name. Stuart Townsend. Oh, no, I'm thinking of a local guy in my town, actually. Oh, there's been a try for Newcastle. What's up, everyone? Says Gal, welcome in, mate. Hope you are doing very well. I'm doing very well, other than the fact that for some reason my nose has decided that it wants to run today, which is a bit unfortunate. Are they playing on artificial grass? Quins and the Falcons, says Nathan. So Newcastle, their game's being played at Kingston Park. So if that one is the one with the 5G turf or the 4G turf or the burning turf, as some people would like to call it, then yes. And also rested well. I had a decent enough sleep. I was actually originally planning on going to sleep at about 11 a.m. that is. Or I think I went to sleep at maybe about 11:30 in the end. And I was actually going to sleep right through to about 4 a.m. Hence why I already scheduled all of those Sevens live streams. But I woke up at about 12:30 and I was like, right, I'm going to be a bit more productive. I'm going to get up. I want to watch the Gallagher Premiership. I missed a couple good NRL games by the looks of it. One going to extra time. And that second match, Sharks versus Cowboys, and Falcons have scored. Hardly a surprise with that arse gravy lineup of a Quins. Says Sebastian. Yeah, it was McGigan who was able to score the first try. And London Irish have also been able to score themselves a try now. That was actually Donald who got that one in. And no, it's actually real grass. Where's my glasses? Says Nathan. Now that is going to be a scrum feed for the Leicester Tigers, I believe it is. Oh, yeah, that was a good ball to Alex Leisdale. I've actually just seen it. It's caught up for me. Good ball from Marco Janssen. England 1 down. They're gonna play this game in 3 days for the test match. And also absolutely appalling rugby union going ahead, yet football cancelled due to Queen's death. That corrupt royal family BS, says Five Bellies, because they did actually cancel the first match. That was going to be taking place yesterday between Bath and against the Bristol Bears, although that has been rescheduled to today instead, that it has taken place. Jack Noel taking it nicely outside of the 22 now for the Exeter Chiefs. Big boot downfield, up and under, taken nicely by Freddie Burns. Will fire back with a kick of his own down to that 22. Luckily, they had a different man back there, and I believe the ref should let the game flow rather than stop, start. One time, the ref blew 215 times. Do you remember what game that was, Spider Mick? That had 215 times that the referee blew the whistle? Because I assume it wasn't rugby union, because theoretically, if he blew it 215 times, they wouldn't have actually had any play. Also, in fairness, if I was a Swansea fan, I'll be glad that the fixtures got called off, says Sebastian. And also, who won the Farah Cup? I'm not actually too sure. I actually missed the results of that one. I'll have a quick look now. See who managed to get themselves the win. Because, yeah, their finals were today, weren't they? Hawke's Bay was involved in one of them. I'm going to scroll through, see what I can find. I'm actually going to have to search it, because or else I don't think I'm going to get to see it. NPC for the women's game. It's not going to tell me. And also, you got a point, mate. But it's not the point. Many fans has lost hundreds booking hotels and traveling all because of that death. CS5 in there. But yeah, I think more than likely we're going to see a lot of refunds, you'd have to think, because of the unforeseen circumstances that it is. Now it's going to be kicked in behind. Now, nice work here for the Exeter Chiefs. There's a massive in-goal area. Oh, it's just going to be tapped back by Freddie Burns, who had to put his body on the line there. So I assume, is that for the rugby side of things that people have lost their money, or for the football side of things, Five Bellies? Is it the fact that you're annoyed with football or annoyed with rugby? I assume it's annoyed with the football. Maybe? No, the other way around, maybe. I'm not too sure. Also, when did Exeter logos remove the Native American chief? That was this year. They spent £1 million to completely rechange to completely rebrand. That's a massive in-goal area that they've got for themselves. That's tapped back by Freddie Burns, not looking to ground it. So you'd have to say maybe cynical. Knocks it deliberately to touch. So that is going to become more than likely actually a 5-metre scrum, I think, for the Exeter Chiefs. And I know, mate, just messing around, it's terrible having to unpick all the arrangements Hopefully the process won't be too tedious. And cheers, Hamish, says Nathan. Oh, right. Leicester Tigers, number 10, Freddie Burns, is going to be going to the bin for 10 minutes here for deliberately knocking the ball dead. Now they have to decide whether or not it's going to be a penalty try. And also Sebastian is 100. Sebastian is 100. A Bath fan of football cancelled this weekend and next weekend because of her death. It's wrong. Millions spent on her funeral. All whilst the country struggling with bills. Says 5 bellies and also Quinn's up. Says Nathan. Right, Freddie Burns, they're saying, is the first player to get to the ball. No, they're saying Freddie Burns was second to the ball. I think this is going to be a penalty try and a yellow card. That's pretty big, because in the NRL, they'd just be like, goal line, drop out, easy peasy. But because we're playing Union, Freddie Burns, 10 minutes off the field, a penalty try to the Leicester Tigers, which of course, to the Exeter Chiefs. And you're streaming 7s later, we certainly are. Our first game that we are going to be doing is Kenya versus England. That is going to be starting at approximately 4 a.m., that live stream that we are doing. And also keep dreaming, Xavier. And also, we have got in there, what did the Queen, I assume that's going to be what did the Queen do that was impressive? Nothing. I mean, that's just a lack of, I guess, knowledge in the history department. Maybe a little bit there, Xavier. Because it's easy for us from Australia and New Zealand to say the Queen's done nothing, but has anyone during this time invaded us or done anything along those lines that has caused harm to us? And more than likely, it's not because they didn't want to. It's because there was someone up a lot further, either being told what to do by Her Majesty or something along those lines. But yeah, she certainly did a lot during the time. I mean, you don't get to 96 and still be in charge without getting something done. And also, I need 2 TVs. I'm switching between the F1 and the 7s. And how did Wales do versus Fiji in the 7s? If Wales, they were defeated by Fiji, and also they were defeated by the USA, unfortunately. But they have got an upcoming game relatively soon. And thank God for rugby, I can see some sport. And yeah, I follow the Ospreys rugby. And also, we have got the Japan bombed us when she was Queen. That's just because no one likes Australia. That's not anything to do with the Queen. No, sorry, that was harsh. And Teddy UK looking after his sons is not taking the piss. It's true, says Sebastian there. Now it's kicked him behind. Going to be, like I mentioned, those massive in-goal areas. He has to force it dead, Joe Simmons. Or sorry, not force it dead, but place it in the in-goal area. And it's going to be the goal line dropout now. And also piss off, says Melbourne Stockade in there as well. Now, a goal line dropout. About to be in play for the Exeter Chiefs. Probably trying to get as much meterage as physically possible here. Or not. Going 22 metres out. Ollie Woodburn was thinking about going up for that one. And also, where's Marcus? He's not playing Sebastian, says Nathan. Yeah, they are actually missing him from what Sebastian said earlier on. Andre Esterhuizen, Danny Keir, and also Lewis Liner, who was one of the standout players for the Quins for last season. Currently, Leicester Tigers building phase after phase. They've got one less man on the field currently that they have had to make a little bit of a reshuffle. Jimmy Gothard will slot into number 10 very, very nicely. And also, when the Chicken Nugget Challenge come in, or did I miss it? You haven't missed it. It's just we're waiting for Isaac to come down from Christchurch, which unfortunately he hasn't actually yet, which is a shame because it's been a few months since we've seen him. But as soon as Isaac's down, we're going to have all 4 of us doing the Chicken Nugget Challenge. He was in touch there for Chris Ashton, so they're going to go back for the line out in favour of the Exeter Chiefs. But yeah, pretty much it is just the case of, yeah, we just need Isaac to be down until we do it because we don't want him to miss out. The other option was going to be to do it so that we were kind of, I guess, doing it over video. So it would be us 3 and then Isaac over video, but we were trying to work on the theory it would be much better if all of us are in the same location. Although there might be some nuggets thrown by the end of it, which might be very dangerous. And also don't know where the Quins players are. Probably are just skipping off. And Drew says Nathan and there. And quick update on the beer snake is 40 meters. Hey, oh, you South Africans, you know how to drink, don't you? 40 meters. You're working on the theory, right? Just to put that into scale, each cup sits in a cup by about that much, okay? Half a centimetre, if that. So, half a centimetre, you got how many? Oh, I should be able to do the maths. That's 200 cups per metre. And then you've got 40 metres. So 40 times 200, you're looking at about 8,000 cups, maybe, if my maths is correct. All in a row. 8,000 cups at $10 a pop. Cape Town Sevens Stadium, they're going to be making some moolah. That's what I'm hearing from that. So they'd be dumb to get rid of it, wouldn't they? They'd be better off saying, right, let's try and make a whole circle of the ground. Make it the length of the... Oh, that's a goal. By the end of the sevens competition, have it the length of the field. That would be an exciting prospect. Now the Chiefs, hanging on, this has been quite an even stalemate between these two sides at this point in time. Now Townsend with the box kick, Woodburn right after it. Chris Ashton lands hard on his back. And I'll say they won't get rid of it, trust me. And Cape Town can skip load shedding for the next 5 years, says Sebastian. All advantage. A little bit illegal in the breakdown. I believe that time it was actually one of the forwards who got himself penalised. Chris Ashton, he looks like he took quite the knock. I mentioned how he got taken out when he was going down, and he just lands so hard on his back. And I think it was actually his teammates almost who got him. He jumps up, collides with his own players. He just missed. He just went straight through the middle. No one really caught him because he just didn't really have the ball lined up, unfortunately. Okay, there's no foul play. Just said, London Irish, they are winning 12-0 against Worcester. I have just looked up. And also in the other games that we have got, the Harlequins are winning 14 points to 5. Comeback Kings, scored by Tyrone Green and Wilco Lowe was the other try scorer in that game. And then for the London Irish, they have been able to score twice. First try by O'Donnell, second try by White. Right, Harry Skinner looks like he is going to be lining up this one to kick to touch from about 45 metres out, looking to put the extra pressure on while they have got their opponents with a one-man disadvantage. That's 23 minutes gone in this match already. It's very, very fast that this one is going. But yeah, at halftime, we are going to be making sure that all the live streams for the sevens are all set up and ready to go. I believe we've got about 8 that we are going to be doing. There was a little pump pass, or a little pump fake there. So that is going to be the Leicester Tigers who do receive the ball there. They've said it's not straight, but I believe it was actually the case of the line-out throw, which is why Yandel is pointing to his ear. Yeah, it wasn't very straight at all as well in the process. The Exeter Chiefs, you'd have to think it would be unfortunate for all of the fans really who have bought Exeter Chiefs kits, because more than likely they would have to then get the new kits eventually. But for now, you'll see a lot of classic Exeter Chiefs ones. It's not just beers, it's cola and other drinks that contribute towards a beer snake. Oh, this is a question for you, Carl. How much is it for a cup of Coke or lemonade or any type of fizzy drink or something like that at the ground? Do let me know, because I know in Melbourne, like for a cup or like anything like that, you were probably looking at a good $5 or something like that, which was a bit unfortunate, really. You could buy 2 large 1 litre or 1.5 litre bottles. That's a big scrum from the Leicester Tigers. They win the penalty as well. It was a little bit of a scrappy one. I think the front row, he's going to be marched back 10 for having the argument. 10 rand. Okay, 10 rand. I believe that's $1, isn't it, New Zealand? That's actually a good price. Fair play, Cape Town. So I guess strategically, does that mean some of the people who are trying to really contribute to the beer snake are drinking like fizzy drinks so that they are able to extend the snake quicker? And also, which Coke are we talking about? I remember that the Colombians are there as well, says Sebastian. Of course, the Coca-Cola, that one. Oh, they're showing the Alex Leeswicker compared to the Dean Elgar one. And I reckon Georgie can eat 100 chicken nuggets in a row without trying. I think he could if he needed to. But the thing with George, and we've talked about this before, me and him, he gets bored of eating, which sounds weird to say, but bear with me. He gets bored of eating the same thing over and over and over again. So, like, if he was having, let's say, 10 pieces of chicken somehow, because 10 pieces would be quite the effort, he would get bored at about the 6th piece and go, nah, I think I'm sick of this. So I think the chicken nuggets, he'd get up to like 30 or 40 and then be like, I'm kind of bored of nuggets. I want something else. But then we can't do a different challenge. Okay, Hepburn just having a bit of a wrestle with one of the other big forwards. I believe that was the number 4. And also, yeah, because there's kids as well, and they don't use the Coke plastic bottles, only those plastic cups. And $5 for a small, $8 for a large, says Nathan in there. That's reminded me, George, I believe, has the day off work, and he wanted to go to KFC today. So that means in about 12 hours' time, I might be going on a trip with George to a chicken outfit, I guess you could say. But by then, I wonder how open my eyes will be. And also, how did the Chicken Nugget Challenge even start? That's a great question. I can't quite remember. I know it was talked about on a live stream at one point. Something to do with McDonald's, and then I think I might have just said a passing comment of oi, or maybe it didn't start with oi, and he was like, oh, he mentioned chicken nuggets, and I said we should do a 50 chicken nugget challenge, and then it kind of became a thing. And isn't it healthy month for both of you? It is. But George had 2 cheat days in a row. Well, not cheat days. He's just had cheat meals a lot. So I haven't decided whether or not I'm actually going to have KFC yet. But I know I'm going to go on the trip with him, just as the kind of guardian angel on the shoulder going, should we go to Subway? Should we go to Subway? The Subway's not even that healthy for you unless you have a wrap, which who likes having wraps rather than like that nice white bread or the herbs and cheddar. That one, that's very nice as well. And yay, says Nathan. But yeah, I think George, he's a hard man to stop when he gets his mind on something. So I think he's going to be having the KFC. I didn't have too bad of a day yesterday, though. While I was doing the live streams and whatnot, I did end up having what did I have? I had chicken in between one of the 2 live streams. I had some fish in between another. And then also I had my Wheat Bix at about 1 a.m. before as me breakfast. And every time you see food, you guys eat for the seafood diet. Yeah, that's a good example. That was almost taken beautifully. But now Solomon and Kata tries to go for the ball over the top. It's gone straight to Joe Simmons. These 2 sides have been spending a lot of the last little while on the halfway line, which is probably why we haven't had too many comments. And also is so good in there. Says Melbourne Stockade now passed on the outside. Ollie Woodburn makes a few extra meters, moving to 40 meters out now for the Exeter Chiefs pass back across. Jack Dunn doing great work there, but the penalty won by Hanro Leibenberg, the captain of the Leicester Tigers. And also we were there. Who won the 7s final? So it is still going. So the 4 quarterfinal matches that are taking place for the men's, they are going to be Ireland versus South Africa, New Zealand versus Argentina, Samoa versus Fiji, and then France versus Australia. Those are the 4 men's finals. Then from there, whoever wins those games moves on to the semis, which I believe takes place tomorrow late afternoon, I think, New Zealand time. In fact, I'll just have a quick check, make sure that is the right time. Where are we? There is a lot of sport going on at the moment, although no 7s at this current point in time. The only chicken nuggets I eat is from Chick-fil-A, says Carl Peterson. Oh, see, I haven't had a Chick-fil-A nugget. I didn't mind KFC nuggets in Australia. They were better than New Zealand KFC nuggets, I thought. They weren't too bad. And also, I love the crispy strips. I've mentioned this many times on the live stream, anytime we talk about KFC, but crispy strips, I don't know why they got rid of them, because they were the best thing since sliced bread, you know? Expensive, but good at the same time. And good old Dan Cole still running around like a young bloke. Yeah, he covers some meterage, doesn't he? Oh, Dan Cole. I feel bad for saying old Dan Cole, but it kind of just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Nice. Take there down the wing now for Harry Potter, trying to create something special for the Leicester Tigers after a not-so-successful kick from the Exeter Chiefs. Now only 10 metres out. This could be a good opportunity to get themselves back into the contest. Once there is a stoppage in play, Freddie Burns will be back out there on the park. Going to be the advantage now in favour of the Leicester Tigers. Good pressure there. Taking the quick tap from Ben Youngs. He's taken it quickly. And it looked like it was good work in the end from the Exeter Chiefs not to end up overcommitting, trying to make that tackle. Now it's going to be still available. Now Salmaki now having a bit of a crack, running straight sideways. Woodburn takes him down. It's been quite an even matchup so far throughout these two sides. And it doesn't feel like it's been 30 minutes. I feel like these Gallagher Premiership live streams are probably just going to be, well, a little bit of commentary, but also probably just a catch-up opportunity, really. Similar to what we do for the Bunnings EPC, how we just get to have a little bit of a more chilled out, relaxed live stream throughout the middle of the night. Currently 22 metres out. Ben Youngs goes across to Leibenberg, trying to break through, not able to do so. This is good defence at the moment from the Exeter Chiefs, trying to make sure they don't allow the defending chance to make their way through. That is actually something that Leicester Tigers last year, their defence was sensational throughout a majority of the season. They do say defence wins your games and the attack. Oh, no, that was Norm saying, wasn't it? How it's the forwards win you the game, the backs decide by how much. Drop kick attempt here from 40 metres out, and he's missed. Gone away to the left, and should give young players a chance to hone their skill. Cole, too old, says Spider-Mac, and Crawley gone for 5. Typical, got to drop them both for the Pakistan tour. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? At the moment, the cricket, it's as if the one day of rain. I wonder if we would have had the same result if it had been played on day 1 or day 2, Is it the pitch that has now worn, maybe aged a bit more? Because theoretically, they would try and get the pitch ready so that it's in pristine condition for the first day. And then if they didn't get those first 2 days in, then maybe the pitch is just doing a little bit more now on day 3. By day 5 or day 4, I believe it will be. It could be an absolute landmine. And also, what do you prefer, league or union? Says Melbourne Stockade. Sebastian kicked him behind from Ben Youngs. That's gone out on the full. Well and truly overcooked that one. But the semi-finals for the men's side of things are going to be taking place at 10:35 p.m. New Zealand time and 11:33 p.m. New Zealand time. And then also for the 5 to 8 semi-finals, it is going to be 9:02 p.m. and 9:24 p.m. for those tides. And also, Hamish, thoughts on New Zealand being a republic? I have no idea what that would mean. To be honest, I don't really follow the political side of things overall. Half the time, it's just people talking and not really doing. So I don't really get too involved in that kind of thing. There's a huge in-goal area. Oh, he's overcooked it. He slipped as well. So Mucky's fired up. Had the veins popping out of the forehead and the biceps there. He had a good chance, Hosea Samaki. But he just didn't get it. And also, do you have to vote in New Zealand? We do, yeah. It's from 18 plus type thing. And you do it for your local election and then also the more general thing. I agree, Hamish. Hard days of work all week. Nice to chill back, watching footy and Blaze at 420. And I was a Union fan before a League fan, Xavier, says Sebastian there as well. It's going to be a goal line dropout. Once again, going for the short kickoff tactic from the Exeter Chiefs. Hasn't worked out as the Leicester Tigers have been able to retain position. Now Ben Youngs goes back across Freddie Burns. Nice short pass to Liebenberg. Nicely, or Liebenberg, sorry. I do end up saying Lie rather than Lee. Nice work from Ollie Woodburn. And also we have got there. It doesn't mean I don't love league. I love it with a passion, but union is just special. And also we have got our preferred union league, after 6 tackles, they have to hand the ball over. So could be close or could be just close to your opponent's goal line. And you have to hand it over, says Novmum. And there, all the different rules. Although rugby union slowly becoming more like league with the slight rule changes of the 40-20 or the 50-22, sorry. Chris Ashton not too happy there. Fired up by the Leicester. And also URC next week. That is very true. You are left wing or right wing? I'm normally in, I guess, what would you say, the centres? If we're talking wings, like I wouldn't say I don't care, but I don't care enough to actually get involved. If that makes sense. And nothing compares to a 20-phase try line siege, says Sebastian. Now, advantage in favour of the Leicester Tigers. Now back across, and I went berserk if the ABs lost. Not anymore. I go Bock all the way, says Spider Meat. Yeah, because I saw your comment about how you decided you're now a Springbok supporter rather than the All Blacks because the All Blacks are losing. So it'll be interesting once the All Blacks start winning whether or not you decide to jump back on ship with the ABs or whether you stick to the Boks. Oh, actually, that's a question. Let's say the All Blacks are losing, the Springboks are losing. Who do you then decide to support at international level, Spider-Mac? Do let me know. And also playing rugby league, you have all your work cut out for your rugby unions, more physical, dominant positions. And also league players don't know how to tackle. But that's because of the different tackling techniques. Sometimes rugby league, it's a lot more effective to go around here than it is down the bottom of the knees or around the shins. You got to make sure, depending on your sport, like league, if you hit them up here and you kind of shut them down, it works well because you don't have to worry about the breakdown. Whereas in rugby union, if you're going low, it means that your jackler can get in over the ball, try and win that turnover as well. It looks like Leicester Tigers are going to be taking on the 3-point attempt. Oh, that's a good bit of a kick there from the Leicester Tigers, and the scrums in league are just, weird. And at least with Union, you can look at the player and know for the most part what position that they play. And also we're good there. I disagree with that, Xavier. It's just that they don't have to do as much as Union players, says Sebastian. And yeah, like I mentioned about the whole, pretty much in league, you're tackling for the sake of tackling, if that makes sense. Whereas in Union, you're tackling for the sake of trying to create the opportunity of a turnover. Whereas a one-on-one in league, they get more strips normally than a one-on-one in Union because they do have that technique of already being up higher, being able to give it an old yank. I don't think I've ever heard a commentator say, oh, he's given that an old yank. I'm going to try that in my next live stream when I get the chance. I'll probably be waiting 20 matches till I see it get an old yank, but as soon as it does, we'll use it. Going to be inside of the 22, Freddie Burns. Now going for the kicker back downfield. And also we have got there, jump back have changed the captain and the coach. You can love them as much as you can. I don't, says Spider Mick. And then now it's going to be kicked in behind from Freddie Burns. Nicely taken. Now it's kicked in behind. By that time it was Harvey Skinner. Back down to the 22. We playing Kicksies at the moment. That's gone back downfield. Not finding touch. Woodburn gets it. He won't. Oh, he is going to kick it. He's gone high with it. That is a better kick, though. It's going to be contested in the air. Oh, he hasn't been able to take it, but he's taken out Freddie Burns in the process. Now, nice run forward from, I believe it was the halfback there, Stuart Townsend. Backline movement. Freddie Burns has stayed down. Nice stepping from, it will be Joe Simmons. This is a good attacking opportunity. I'm a full-blooded Kiwi. Thank you, says Spider Mick there. So I guess full-blooded, what makes you choose South Africa as your next team, Spider Mick, out of curiosity? Is it the fact that they are a good side, or is it something else that you've got that connects you to South Africa? That's going to be Solomon Kata running in the try for the Exeter Chiefs, and he has got one on debut. Brilliant work from Solomon Kata. It's become a dog pile. And at the moment, I believe that player had someone else's ball bag right in his face. And I played VRL comps, Victorian Rugby League, played in Altana Roosters, and played since COVID-19, 2020. Says Nathan, do you think you ever get back into it? And also another thing with league is that the people in charge of Super League and the NRL are total dinosaurs. Can't look beyond club and original rivalry in the international game and evolve like Union. And too lazy to play unions, too much works. League is easy for me, says Nathan. A nice work from Solomon Kata. Manages to get himself a try early on in the competition. And also Simiso's are you Victorian, says Melbourne Stockade. Solomon Kata, try on Premiership debut. Like I mentioned, this man, he plays for Tonga throughout the international rugby union scene. He also has been playing for Moana Pacifica last year. Now has the debut for the Exeter Chiefs, and scores a try just before the end of the first half. And also league, it's just for, I want to say the dumb people. It just depends on what you enjoy more, really, because at the end of the day, don't get me wrong, some of those positions in league, Like, you look at those guys, maybe as an example, you look at someone like a Nathan Cleary. I know people don't like Nathan Cleary, but that's going to be the example. He has to do a lot of thinking while he's out on the park. He's first receiver. You've got to work out exactly what your backline's doing. You've got to know the plays that are about to take place so that you can make sure that you're finding the right pass, or else it could be complete and utter just, I guess, a disaster in the back line. Nathan Cleary is a Muppet, says Melbourne. Said that's why he's probably not the best option. Who's someone you like? Maybe, I guess, Sean Johnson? He used to be very impressive for New Zealand in terms of being able to work out exactly where that pass needed to go. And yes, some players might have a lower than average IQ, but that's the same in all sports. You just got to work with what you got, you know? And now, that is going to be half time. Exeter Chiefs leading this game 17 points to 6. And Nathan Cleary, that one, and also not mate. And Tino, I love his mullet. Okay, well, we'll go with Tino Fa'asuamaleaui then, if you want to go with a player. Actually, no, that's probably not the best example because he can do some slightly more brain-dead things than others. And also, I don't know how England are going to be able to counter Cleary's quick thinking. He's a rocket, says Sebastian. You see, that's the thing. I haven't seen too much of the English. I want to watch more of the Super League, but I think that's almost over, isn't it? They're up to the semi-finals or the finals. Hey, Lyon fought back pretty well in that game, Xavier. I've just seen the score for the top 14. They were able to win La Rochelle, that is, 23 points to 21. So actually, very decent result for Lyon in the end. But looking through, London Irish are winning their game 19 points to 0. Newcastle versus Harlequins is sitting 15 points to 14, so a very close one as we currently sit. Can't wait for the South Africa game so we can hear some rolling R's. Good job, mate, says Charla B. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. South Africa versus Ireland. I would say their first real test of this World Cup, because they did have Chile in their first match. That was never going to really push the blitz box to their full potential. So I think this next one is going to be pretty awesome. See how it does end up going. I'm just going to have a quick look through and see who are playing in the women's games. New Zealand. Oh, South Africa played a little bit earlier, didn't they? They played in the minor semi-final, and they actually won their game 27 points to 0 over Colombia. So it is going to be now in their semi-finals, for the minor finals, I should say. They will be playing China. There you go. Interesting. When's that? That's in 21 hours' time. Possibly New Zealand versus Box semi-final, says Carl. Yeah, the one straight away everyone was talking about is the fact that it's setting up to be South Africa versus Fiji in the grand final. Now, if that happens, that's going to be a massive, massive game. And also, we have got don't talk about the Warriors. They're never going to win 3 in a row. Only one every 3 years, says Spider Meek. So I assume that's because I mentioned Sean Johnson, isn't it? Possibly. And also, the England Knights have no chance unless they have a spine that can match the old Mangy Kangaroos, says Sammy Soza. We need more Rugby 22 and Rugby Challenge video, says Melbourne Stockade. I am actually looking forward to, I've got a series coming up for Rugby Challenge 4. It's probably going to be in a slightly more quiet season than compared to now, just because there's so much sport on currently, and I haven't really had the chance to film it as much as I would like to. But yeah, I have got a series. In fact, I've got a couple series in mind for Rugby Challenge 4. It's just more of the case of like knowing exactly when I want to do it, when I can upload it consistently. Because I don't want to have it that I start a series and then it just becomes like a hidden one that was like 4 weeks ago and everyone's going, where's episode 2? And the Knights are the young lads, the big lads are 3 Lions as well. And the crowd is pouring in here last game at 10:30 p.m. Yeah, that is true. Very late game, but it's the South African game again, isn't it? I guess they know how to lure people in, because every game that's late for the South Africans, theoretically, is another beer that someone's got to consume who got there early to then be able to wait till they get there. They're just showing the highlights of Liverpool versus Bournemouth when they scored a whole heap of goals. And there were a lot of goals in that game, that is for sure. I believe it was it 9-0 or 7-0 in that game for Liverpool? It might have been 9-0, in fact. Currently in the cricket, after 11.3 overs, England are sitting 63. In fact, make that 67 for 2. They are going extremely aggressive. How did Mo Salah miss that? He was a metre from the goal. Interesting. But yeah, do we think, Sebastian, I'll ask you because you are England cricket boy, of course. Do you think England are just going to keep on going super aggressive here and then try and win this game maybe tomorrow if they have like 400 on the board and 9-0? Yeah, says Sebastian. But yeah, it would be smart from England, definitely with the English weather, to just keep on firing. And yes, you might get yourself bowled out for like 250, 300, but at least you'll have those extra runs on the board and then from there be able to try and win the series. And also they're playing baseball, trying to produce a result. And also, Hamish, did you see Chelsea their manager? I did, which is an interesting one for Chelsea because they're currently not looking the greatest, are they? So I guess that's the thing. Football's very harsh, isn't it? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you look at rugby union or something along those lines. And more of an example, you look at Ian Foster. If Ian Foster was a Premier League manager, he would have been sacked probably almost after that first loss last year. Or when he lost to France and Ireland, he would have been gone. And sevens are so unpredictable. Chile about to win Scotland. Yes, Scotland have had an absolute shocking tournament so far. But I believe that's due to Jordan Edmonds not being there. I mentioned it as well last year. Or not last year, but last night. I actually said, I think Jordan Edmonds does so much for that Scottish team. And through the last few legs of the sevens with him being out with injuries, it's really shown how heavily they relied on him. Also, no Ross McCann. It's another big hit for the Scottish, not being able to use him consistently. But we haven't seen a huge amount of upsets throughout the Sevens World Cup, have we? Uganda bet who they were supposed to. Germany probably won their game to Tonga. Zimbabwe getting beaten by South Korea might be a little bit of an upset. Did you see what the Aussie girls did to Madagascar? I did. It actually wasn't as high as a score as I expected, to be honest. Like, I thought Australia were going to win that by 60 to 70 and really just tear it up for the early stages of the comp. But they actually, what they win by in the end, I'm just going to go back to it. They won 48-0. That was a little bit lower than I expected for Australia. But I think they should be able to get themselves a big win over, Sebastian, England in their matchup today. That is in 2 hours, 9 minutes time, Germany versus Uganda in a challenge final. Yeah, that's going to be a good game. Uganda are one of those sides that I think have a lot of potential. They just got a really unlucky draw because they ended up in that situation of having to play Samoa in their very first match. And no one wants to play Samoa in their first match. Why is football postponed but rugby not, says Dr. Wheatcrest? It's a great question because Premier League, I believe, has been postponed for 2 weeks, whereas Premiership Rugby, they did postpone the game yesterday, but that is now today that they have decided to go with it. New Zealand Rugby should pay our black firm more money than waste it on our ABs, says Spider-Meek. And also, it's mental how England are going to take a first innings lead in day one. I know the conditions are special for this match, but Test cricket just isn't the same anymore, says Sebastian. Yeah, like England have shown, similar to what Brendan McCullum used to do for the Black Caps, if you play aggressive, I mean, they literally are playing it like me and Dad play it on Cricket 19 because everyone's up. Everyone's up on the field. You've got like 2 or 3. And also we've got their Samoa, just fat props. Have you seen their 7 side, Xavier? You sure you're not thinking of Tonga? Because Samoa, half of those guys don't have a pound of fat on them or a percentage of fat on them. Like you look at Va'a Apilo Maliko, also Paul Scanlon, Yuna Sioni. I don't see a single larger than regular Scottish or not a Scottish Samoan player in that sevens lineup. Tonga, if you said Tonga, I would think, yeah, maybe. Because Tonga did look a little bit unfit going into their matches. If sevens can become competitive, unpredictable, or can become... Oh, you got me there with the tongue. The tongue's going weird. If sevens can become competitively unpredictable these days, same thing can happen with 15s, but surely. And also, I don't watch sevens. Wait, so you're basing it off their sevens team that you don't actually watch, saying they're all fat? Okay, fair enough. I feel like it's... I mean, the Union side, though, even in their backline, like you look at Samoa's backline, there's not a pound of fat on those guys either. They're just all in very good shape. They're just still showing goals that Liverpool were able to get for themselves. It's good news because we will know exactly what it is going to be or when the game's coming back. And also those Samoans are staying away from Mackie D's, don't you worry, says Sebastian there as well. Well, they're showing Ben Stokes. He looks very relaxed at the moment. He's got his feet well and truly up in the air. There were so many chances for Liverpool in that game up against Bournemouth. I'm just watching them all now. That was a game that we were considering doing our live stream for, but I did end up sleeping. And Tonga's definitely not taking the seven system seriously. Yeah, it's a shame because they have got potential, but it's literally like you can tell from that sevens game that they played in the first match. They just don't really like it was a World Cup and they went out there and played it as if it was like a Saturday game of sevens. You know, you're just pretty much out there for the sake of playing rather than for the sake of trying to actually go far. Because they had Kenya, which were never going to be easy, but still would have liked to see a little bit more of the aggression there. Also, McCullum must feel like a proud father, says Sebastian. And also Tonga, no union nor sevens league. Hell yes. It's fine. Yeah. Their league team's very good. That is for sure. Did Mo Salah even score in that Liverpool game? I think he kept on blowing it, didn't he? If I'm not wrong. But yeah, those sevens games, they are coming just around the corner. Like you mentioned, Chile having a good game up against Scotland so far. Still in the first half being 14-0 up. They were, 14-5 up now. That's changed a little bit. But yeah, the first game that we are going to be covering it is at 3:59 a.m. That is England versus Kenya that we are going to be doing for that one. Then the game that we are going to be doing after that, I believe, is Australia versus England. And Tonga get Tupou in your seventh side, says Melvin Stockade. Well, that's the thing. If they took the best players from Union, and whether that is international or non-international, they could have a good seventh side, but it just seems to be they don't want to, you know? Like Malachi Fekitoa, he was willing to play sevens, but he never got that chance because he got injured. But if you had a seventh side with Malachi Fekitoa, you look at one of those big locks like Sam Lousy, get him in there just for that extra bit of size and work in the line out. Alongside that, you maybe, I don't know about Taniela Tupou. He might be a little bit of a half a game in sevens type thing. But then also, you know, you chuck Charles Piato in there, Israel Folau. I know all these guys wouldn't play sevens, and no goal or assist for Mo Salah. Has he got any this year, though? He's had one goal, hasn't he? He's been a little bit rougher this year than normal for the start. And South Africa, woman to man, they look clueless, which is weird considering them as the best team the world has ever seen, says Yanri now. I think it's just because the women's side are a lot more new. They've had less time to be able to get, I guess, out there on the park. They don't take part in the regular sevens series. So that means they don't get those chances to play top teams week in, week out. And Salah misses Sadio Mane, says Carl. And that Exeter Chiefs logo, not a fan, looks odd, says Yanri now. And also Haaland is good, says Melvin Stockade. He is indeed. And also we have got South Africa Rugby Union decided to reboot the women's sevens program, didn't they? Says Simi Souza. And they don't care about sevens at all. They barely pay any attention to union lately. It's all league for the Tongans, especially with the Rugby League World Cup coming up, says Sebastian. But that's the thing. It's a shame because we've seen like some great plays from Tonga. And the thing is, it seems to be when they get together as the international side is when the mistakes start happening. Whereas you look at like the team members in Moana Pacifica, you look at the guys around the world who play for Tonga, they all have such potential. But unfortunately, it just seems to be like those little mistakes that they do have, and they don't seem to have that passion that they want. I'm just looking through at all of the quarterfinal fixtures. We got 8 games. I think we aren't covering USA versus Canada, though, at 8:05 a.m. That is the only game of the quarterfinals that we haven't got on the cards, mainly because at that stage, I'll probably end up having a snack in between the games as they are back to back to back. And also, the other reason will be because we will be doing our review of Samoa versus Fiji. Should be an awesome match. That one, I wish it wasn't the quarterfinal because it just seems like a match that could be fitting of a final or a semi, but they do have to do it as the quarter. I've just realized this is a massive halftime. Nathan's just realized the same thing. This halftime taken forever. It is. They aren't back out there on the field yet. I can't quite believe it. When did the first half end? I'm going to have a look. So we're going to go back. We're going to go back 16 minutes It was still going on. 12 minutes. Okay. So it's a 15-minute halftime break. That's quite long. And so when do you sleep? Says no, Mum. So I slept during the day today. So I went to sleep at maybe about 11:30 and then got up at 12:30. And then now we're back for, I think the next time I sleep is actually after the finals of the Sevens. Possibly because I want to watch Shemaev versus Nate Diaz. I feel like that's going to be an awesome card. And I actually just recently watched last night during one of my breaks. I did watch Tai Tuivasa versus Cyril Gahn. And man, Tuivasa can take a shot. Because I didn't want those results to be spoiled for me. So I decided that I would go a little bit strategic and watch those games before watching the next ones. That's the irony, isn't it? Especially when they have a chance at the Rugby League World Cup compared to the Union, in which they're technically trying to do the same thing with Falau Fikatawa and other stars, and Diaz versus Ferguson. Yeah, it's going to be, what? Wait, so what's happened? It's Diaz versus Ferguson. Did someone miss weight? I'm going to have a look at this. So what happened that made it change? Was it, Chimaev missed weight? Well, that'll do it. That will do it indeed. So Diaz versus Ferguson. What happened to Ferguson's opponent? Who was he going to be fighting originally? He was meant to verse someone by 8.5. That's not even close, is it? 8.5 pounds is almost a whole new weight class, which I guess is why he's fighting Kevin Holland now. Which, fair play to Kevin Holland for stepping up if that was what has happened there. But, well, that sucks. Lucky I had to pre-order the pay-per-view yet. I might have to wait. Also, Diaz says, Nathan... So yeah, he's versing, or who was his original? Oh, he was going to fight Leach. So what happened to Leach? Does Leach get paid out, or did Leach also miss weight? Because if he also, then Uncle Dana's not going to be too happy that two of his main fights both had weight missed. And also thoughts on American football. I don't mind it. I just don't really watch it that much. I enjoy the way that it works. I just don't enjoy the amount of stop and start that is involved in it. It works all right if you're getting up to get drinks, popcorn and all that kind of thing. But if you're not and you're just watching it through, I'd probably be more than likely, if I was going to watch a game of American football, I would watch it about an hour on delay and then just skip all the breaks. And Leach is fighting Holland's opponent. Okay. So they've had to have a right reshuffle and it's all catch weight, says Carl. Okay. Right. Well, that's not confusing, is it? Everyone's just switching and swapping. So they're all catch weight. Well, Shemaev, that's pretty disappointing. 8.5 pounds. He wants to be top guy, but if he is missing weight by that much, surely Dana White's going to look at him and go you're our money maker here and you've just messed this up. But Ferguson versus Diaz, I just wish they had the press conferences for that, because that would have been a fun time. Nate Diaz would have been down, he would kick his ass and all that kind of thing. And then Tony Ferguson would just be doing forward rolls and just kind of in his own Tony zone, It would have been quite a fun press conference to be able to watch. And also we have got there Newcastle Falcons looking good, beating Harlequins and London Irish, hammering the Worcester Warriors. Yeah, they've done very nicely so far for the... I'm actually going to have a look and see if they have got back underway. London Irish. Are they back up? Because if they are, yep, they're in the second half. Harlequins have just scored, though. So they are now going to be taking the lead back, currently hanging on to this one for the Exeter Chiefs. Ollie Woodburn. Nice bit of a step off the left and the right. And also, what's your opinion on Andrew Tate? I haven't really followed too much to do with him. To be honest, I hardly get a chance to watch YouTube, but I think he's more of he was on TikTok. Was he a TikTok guy? But he's a kickboxer, isn't he? If I'm not wrong. Because I know a lot of the influencers out there want to fight him. Everyone just wants to box him now for some reason. And also, this surely lowers Shemaev's stock now What an embarrassment, says Carl. Yeah, because 8.5 pounds, normally 8.5 pounds is, for me, like, that's either you've got a serious injury or you didn't really want to fight. You know, there's something happening there, because 8.5 pounds, that's a good few. Like, surely you're weighing yourself throughout the process. You're looking at what's happening. Because he looked skinny on the scales, though, didn't he, Chimaev? So what weight was it going to be fought at? Was it at the weight lighter than he normally fights at, or was it still the same weight class? How do you think the South Africa teams will do in European Champions Cup facing Tigers and La Rochelle? It's going to be awesome to see those sides. And also, he drank sparkling water and ate before weigh-ins the night before, says Carl. Yeah, it's an interesting... Oh, there's a bit of push and shove. Why am I getting marched back, is the question asked by the player. And also, Andrew Tate is four-time world kickboxing champion, says Melbourne Stockaper. Back to, just for a second, by the European Champions Cup. That's going to be pretty cool to see. I know that Harlequins play the Sharks in the first round. Handbags. There's Novmum. Yeah, a little bit of push and shove happening at the moment. 83 for 2 England are sitting after 15 overs. I don't think he wanted to fight, Nate. Have you seen the press conference, Hamish? Says Carl. I haven't seen his press conference. But, you know, it's weird because his persona is, I want to fight everybody. Everybody going to get it. That's kind of what he said in his Octagon interview, on it, with a couple like yells or screams as well. I feel like that was a really bad Chimaev impersonation. Luckily, he won't be watching this and he'll try and smash me too. But, like, it's interesting, isn't it? Is it me, or have I never heard? Is it me, or have I never heard of Andrew Tate? I assume you haven't, already now. But yeah, he's only really recently that everyone is talking about. It's pretty much, he's a man who has very, I guess, old-fashioned views, you could say. It's going to be close to a try, is it? No, it's a forward pass. And 8.5 pounds, he missed weight by about a weight class, says Sebastian. Yeah, that's like normally 1 pound or 2 pounds, everyone's like, okay, at least he was close. But 8.5, that's like a good couple feeds of KFC to get you up there. And there wasn't a press conference. Nate's team was backstage in an altercation with Chimaev. And also then Kevin Holland joined the fun as well. And Tony joined on too. See, everyone, it sounds like an old school WWE event. You know, like when someone's wrestling in the ring, could be like Triple H versus Mick Foley, or I don't know, some random matchup, and then Stone Cold walks out, then Shawn Michaels comes out, then Batista comes out, and just everyone starts joining in and getting involved. The American leagues that I follow are the NBA, NHL, basketball, and ice hockey. Isn't that like all of them? Or maybe not quite all of them, but that's like they're the four big ones, aren't they? Do you ever consider watching a little bit of lacrosse, Sebastian? Premiership debut for Rory O'Loughlin now, an Attitude Era backstage brawl, says Sebastian. Yeah, the good old days, eh? Although WWE, they're trying to get back there now, PG. Or the PG days are gone, I should say. I'll be honest, Sebastian, Broken Dreams has been added to my Spotify playlist. You walk with that on the treadmill and boy, you start running by the end of it. We tied 21-21, extra time, says Carl. Oh, is that for Scotland versus... Yep, Scotland versus Chile. Well, Chile to win would be a massive upset, but you'd have to say Scotland don't really deserve to go too far in the competition with how they've gone. And also, as the game's still on, it is indeed. We are 45 minutes through at the moment. They did take a 15-minute break, and AEW is already there, says Sebastian. Now I'll go on back. Yeah, I've heard a bit of the backstage stuff. CM Punk in it, but then people are saying it's not CM Punk, and then other people saying it is, and then everyone's saying they should get rid of him, but then he's one of the main reasons people watch AEW, so it's a bit of a tricky one for them, isn't it? Nice drive forward from the big number 7, Christ, the Shunza. Now, past, back across. Who just said what you're saying out there on the field? Was that the referee? Did he just say what you're saying to the TMO? That was very posh of the ref. Or very British, I guess I should say. And AEW is great. I enjoy watching it, pro wrestling over sports entertainment, says Carl. And also Broken Dreams. It's been on my playlist since SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, says Sebastian. Looks like they're going for the box kick here. Stuart Townsend. Goes up, must come down. Nicely taken for the mark and preach, Carl, says Sebastian. And there as well. Oh, I gave that a hoof. That's gone far. It's gone from 122 to the other. That CM Punk situation is messed up. It's not a work, it's the real deal, says Carl. Yeah. There's some real bad blood at the moment in the backstage. And everyone's saying that Cody Rhodes kind of knew something was coming. So that's why he got out of there and got a whole heap of money from the WWE. I don't know why I got a Scottish accent there, but 28.2 overs, 133 runs for England. Oh, sorry, that's for both sides in that session. And now it is going to be kicked back downfield from Woodburn. It's a nice strike on that one. Down to a man who looks very similar to Johnny May, but it's not Johnny May. I believe instead it was actually Matt Scott. Now kick downfield. There's been a lot of kicking in this game. I'd be lying if I said there hadn't been. Everyone's kicking. And also we have got the have you ever been recognised walking in the streets? Yes, but not as a Kiwi lad. I've just been recognised by like people who I know because I'm from a small town, but not like recognised for the channel or anything like that. It's just pretty much like, hey, we went to high school with you. You know? The thing is, there's a video. Charge down from Dan Cole, who finds the offload, and Liebenberg will score the try. That is fantastic work from the veteran. And Joe Simmons is disappointed. What a try. And also, Chile just won against Scotland, says Carl Peterson. And that's a massive try for Hanro Liebenberg. Dan Cole has charged that one down. I can't quite believe that. He's charged down the kick. And that's how you know you've taken too long to strike it. If you're getting charged down by a prop. But Liebenberg then was able to run it in for the try, the new skipper. And now it's going to be a little bit closer between these two sides. And also we have got their punkers and Opiate, though, are some of the most genuinely kind guys in the business. In the business, despise Punk. And that tells a lot. And also, do you know Toni Storm? I do. I haven't seen what she's done since leaving NXT, but she's Australian, isn't she? And Stone Cold Steve Austin doesn't want to wrestle anymore. Thanks to Bret Hart, says Spider Mech. Has something happened since he fought on the WrestleMania card? Because he actually made his return, didn't he? Deep breath. And the kick has gone over. This game is starting to heat up to be quite an exciting one, ladies and gentlemen. 17 points to the Exeter Chiefs, 13 to the Leicester Tigers. And Ben Youngs, he's currently on the sideline. They did decide to make the change. In fact, a few changes being made. That was good advertisement for Global Payments. A man just bent over and had it across his butt cheeks right into the camera. She's in AEW, her hip attack. And Tony won the women's title in AEW, says Sebastian there. Yes. She was all right in like NXT in terms of her skills and whatnot. There we go. And also what's been going on, everyone. I hope you all had a good weekend so far, says Aiden. I hope you are doing well too, mate. It has been a fun weekend. We've had sevens. Now the Gallagher Premiership has made its big return. The UFC's tomorrow, but there's been a reshuffle in the card that I have just found out about, which is a bit of a shame because I was thinking about doing, I always think about doing a UFC stream. I never quite do it though. I've done one boxing stream, which was Usyk versus Anthony Joshua, which is weird because I watch boxing less than UFC, so it doesn't make sense that I did that one and not the other. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting card. And also, I can't believe Chile beat Scotland. They would have been like surely $15 underdogs at least. That is the first upset, I would say, of this competition that we've had that is a proper upset, not like one that could have been a 50-50, like a proper upset. Nice work from the Exeter Chiefs. Unfortunately, just putting the ball down there. And then from Chinza. And like they're saying, if he catches that, there was the option of the offload on the outside. Hello, Aiden. You seem to be in a good mood, says Sebastian. And also, but I can't believe Chile beat Scotland. And also, we have got there. Would love to get one from her, says Carl. Now taken nicely by Martin at the front of the line. Tommy Reffel hanging on to this one, trying to get this one marching forward. 50 metres out for the Leicester Tigers. 52 minutes gone in this contest. They've been told to use it once and also when ABs defend the Bledisloe Cup, Hamish. So that is going to be on Thursday, 9:35, I believe it is, or it could be 9:55, in fact. But yeah, on a Thursday rather than any other day does always feel a bit weird. But I actually talked to Dad about it. I was like, why don't they just switch it to Sunday? Maybe like a Sunday afternoon game if they don't want to overlap with any AFL or anything like that. That's going to be kicked in behind and taken nicely by the Chiefs number 21. And also, anyone placing bets on the UFC tomorrow, says Carl, I'm not much of a better or a what's it called? A punter? Is it a punter? Is that what you call it? But I think overall, I would be terrible at guessing who would win. I'm normally not too bad at guessing try scorers for rugby, but terrible at guessing fights or predicting. See, the fact that I even call it guessing fights rather than predicting fights tells you everything you need to know about my knowledge. Like, that's the thing. I know the fighters and I've watched them fight for ages. It's so unpredictable. You know, you think something's going to happen and then someone gets knocked out in like 20 seconds. Kamaru Usman loses his championship after a winning streak like almost no other. It's going to be the mark taken now, kicks it downfield for the Exeter Chiefs. It's a great kick. And be back though for the number 12, Jimmy Goffith. Taken nicely by Ollie Woodburn, who now goes for the kick of his own. It's going to be an awkward bouncing one. It's gone almost over the head of number 21 for the Tigers, going back down. It's going to be a kicking battle again. Why Thursday? Any reason? Pretty much so that it doesn't overlap with, it doesn't overlap with the AFL. And also, we really like that Usman versus Leon Edwards. Lost 3K on that fight, says Carl. And I think a lot of people would have lost just as much on the All Blacks versus Argentina first match as well. Because that's the thing. Sometimes the odds, like, not so much for that fight. I think the odds for that one were Usman about $1.30, so it wasn't too bad in terms of wanting to put a big number on. But I never understand the ones who back the All Blacks for $1.02, because at the end of the day, rugby's rugby. It's unpredictable. And if you've got to put $1,000 on to make $2 back, surely there is another way you can make $2 by backing someone who's $1.50 favorite and just putting $4 on them. You know, it's always like, I guess they think it's a safe bet until it's not, and put $5 on Diaz to beat Ferguson. Well, theoretically, it's weird though, isn't it? Because that fight, you've got two guys who normally are unorthodox and hard to predict. You'd think that the short notice would benefit Diaz because Ferguson would like to have a little bit more of a feeling out of who he's going to be fighting, but Diaz is just a scrapper. He'll go out there and just try and absolutely brutalise Tony Ferguson. But Ferguson won't allow him to do it, I don't think. I think it's going to be close for those two fighting. Have they fought before in the past or never had the chance to go head-to-head? Because he's a gangster, says Carl. Yeah, pretty much. He's one of those guys who will not back down from any challenge, no matter what. Holland versus Shemaev, I'm excited for now, because it's going to be weird. Because those two, I don't think they've fought. Kevin Holland loves talking, and Shemaev loves smacking people. So it could be quite a fun one. Also, commentary, and they're from Rooster. You think Australia can beat New Zealand at least once? I think the series could be 1-1, to be honest, which means that Australia theoretically win the first and then New Zealand win the second. But there's also a chance with so many injuries for Australia, it could be 2-0 for New Zealand. I think Australia full strength side without all the injuries. So we're talking Quade Cooper, Karevi, Hodge, O'Connor, Michael Hooper in there as well. I think they win. But without all those guys, I think New Zealand go 2-0, even though I would love it to be 1-1 and also the South Africa-Argentina 1-1 and just have it all come down to pretty much the final points differential of the Rugby Championship. The circumstances are ideal for Bazball, though. They are. You might as well go out there, get as many runs as possible, and then put the pressure right back on South Africa, because second innings, South Africa are going to bat longer. That has to be a given. They will be blocking everything. And they normally only go at about 2 runs and over anyway. And I'll be honest with you, Hamish, I put my opening bet $500 on South Africa to retain the World Cup. How much was it paying at the time, Spider-Man? Do let me know. I'll be honest, I'm not the best at gambling overall. Like, I'm a weird one. If I put a bet on, more than likely it's for probably anywhere between 1 and 10 cents. And the reason I do that is because I know I'm terrible at predicting things. So what I'll do is I'll make like a 20-leg multi for 5 cents. If it pays out, brilliant. Doesn't normally though. And then if it doesn't, it's like, well, it was 5 cents in my account that was just sitting there. You know, like, I think the only time I've actually done well in a bet was actually Super Rugby Aotearoa 2020. I think it was, because they had that thing how it was, if you join the TAB, they'll give you $50, I think it was, in bonus bets. I think it was. Yeah, it might have, or actually it might have been, it was deposit 100 and we'll give you $100 worth of bonus bets. No, it wasn't. It was 50. It was the $50 worth of bonus bets. I'm trying to remember. See, this is how long ago it was. And I put my $50 bonus bet that they gave me on Richie Mo'unga to score a try in one of the Crusaders games. He was paying $3 and he scored. And that's when I thought, oh, this stuff's easy. But then I think that money all disappeared eventually. And the Rugby World Cup in France, oh dear, the money is gone, mate. Sorry, but I can't see it happening. And no one is good at gambling, says Rooster. And as I've learnt from, not from my life experience, but I know that people don't tell you so much about the bets that they lose, but they'll tell you about the bets that they win. And also, we were doing the last ODI game tomorrow between Australia and New Zealand. Oh, I wish I could, but I think tomorrow is my sleeping day, more than likely. Wait, so tomorrow, is that Sunday, or is that tomorrow is in the day after? Is it on Tuesday? I'm having a look through. And also that 70 cents one, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, at the time I placed the bet, it pays $26.50. Wait, so that's $26.50 for all of your money? Because, I mean, South Africa to retain the World Cup, they were paying maximum, I think, $3 here in New Zealand. So $26.50, I would assume, is the profit you'll make from them retaining. Because $26.50 per dollar, like, even Wales aren't paying that to win the World Cup at the moment. Now, rolling maul. And you are New Zealand. Oh, you are in New Zealand. So did you use TAB for that bet, or was it a different website? Now it's going close for Leicester Tigers. They go in for the try. And that will now give them a little bit more of a lead. I almost forgot about the rugby for half a second there. But yeah, international men's cricket. Is it today or tomorrow that they play? Yeah, it's in 12 hours, so I'll probably be sleeping. More likely, and you sleep every time I go on YouTube, you on live, says Rooster. Yeah, we do a fair amount of live streams throughout the weekends. It is fair to say, but I'm very strategic with when I sleep. I have no idea when I'm sleeping today, though, which is what makes me slightly concerned. It will depend on what time George wants to go on his trips, or his trip to KFC, because we live 30 minutes away from one. So more than likely, I would think maybe after that, I'll get to sleep for like 5 hours, and then I'll do the sevens all throughout the night. And then after that, I'll sleep on Monday. But then Springboks will probably announce their side on Monday or Tuesday. And I also got a few videos to film, so I'll probably film them. There's an apologies to Wales fans, by the way. Says Sebastian, yeah, it did sound harsh, didn't it, saying Wales? I'm going to have a look and see what their odds actually are for Wales to be able to win the World Cup. They shouldn't be too bad, theoretically. And also the Welsh are getting their cheeks clapped right now, says Carl. And also, how's Katie, though? I haven't actually heard from her since one of those Bledisloe Cup live streams, I think it was. Yeah, my TAB account that I've just gone in, since when are there boosted odds? What are they? I feel like boosted odds are something that's new for the TAB. But yeah, I've got 80 cents in my TAB account. That's pretty much so that I can watch things on the TAB, like the tennis or the football or anything that they've got there. Wales to win against Canada is paying $100. So I'd say it hasn't gone well for the Canadians, or for the Welsh, sorry. We'll go down. Nice ball on the outside to Big Ewers down the wing, or Ewers, sorry. I almost combined the two. Nice run. Close to the line. He was hit relatively high there. Only a couple meters out. Exeter, no. Oh, that's a lot of men on top of him. Which he almost had the momentum to go over. Now the Chiefs gonna give it off to Schickling. He's on the line, and that's another try. Hamish, you reckon I will see the French lifting the Webb Ellis Cup for the first time ever since, or time ever? How many times since 87? Surely it's time for France. Yeah, they've been close many, many times. So the rugby, you can actually do outright for who's going to win the Rugby World Cup currently, and the highest odd is $3.25 for someone to win. That's actually not bad odds. You could back the top three sides and at least maybe make your money back. But I'm going to go down, and we're going to go to the Rugby World Cup. How much for a Welsh win in the World Cup? Yeah, South Africa currently $6. Wales to win is $17. 26-0 to Canada at halftime. And Kelly lads, chilly day by the sevens, says Jan Lu Brand. So hopefully it does warm up. Is the sun at least looking like it's coming out, Jan Lu, currently? Fiji to win the World Cup is $101. Namibia, Uruguay to win is $2,501. The Falcons versus Queen game is mental. I wish they had it more. And also we have got the U2 sets. Rugby needs to make a video. Him and Distracted is good. But I feel you two, with such a sports brain, make such a combo, says Rooster. Interesting you say that, because there might be something in the mix very soon. There's a knock on. That's a shame. That was a good try. But yeah, we might actually have a video coming out maybe in the next week or two. I think we're organising it. I haven't actually talked to him yet, but I have got his number now from Distracted Sports, who said that he would be keen to give it a go. And also, Hamish, will you cover the last ODI between Black Caps and Australia? You seem to not like ODI. Is it right? I like ODI. I just don't like the fact that it goes for like 9 hours and you don't get many breaks. But also, they have been just at inconvenient times for us. Like a lot of the time, they do end up overlapping. For the ODI, you can fit a T20 in, no problem. You can fit a session or two in of a test match, no problem. But when you're committed to 7 hours of cricket, plus about 45 minutes of the break, it does always make it very hard to squeeze it in, like without having some sort of overlap or without getting extremely hungry or like just run out of space, or not space, but just run out of time to do other things throughout the day. Oh, just a penalty. So Exeter Chiefs will actually get themselves the penalty. So what is happening in that game, Sebastian? I'm going to have a look to save you having to write me the information. Although I do want to know who you think's going to win it. Do you think the Quins have got the comeback in them again, or are they ahead? London Irish are doing all right. They are sitting 31-0. Yeah, Harlequins 28, Newcastle 31. I think that is the pick'em game, although this one is starting to heat up a little bit. It's going to be held up. And because of it, it is a goal line drop out the quarterfinal. It will be good to watch men and women. And yep, we are going to be covering those games on the Kiwi Lads channel. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Wales have just scored 2 tries. They won't be paying $100 now, will they? Are they? Surely they can't go back to win it. I'm going to have a look at the odds now. But like I mentioned, I don't actually put any money on things because I suck at betting. So it's kind of that thing of, I know I'm bad at it, so I choose. Wales are now $16 to win. yeah, I know I'm bad at it, so I know that I shouldn't do it, which is something that's hard to, I guess, do in some regards for some people. And let's get our Hamish to Check the Sports and 2 Cents Rugby, New Zealand streamers, says Nathan. And there's but yeah, it's going to be some sort of video. I've still got to work out exactly what it's going to be. And also we've got to work out when we can film it when all three of us are available. So there's a chance that it may just be me and 2 Cents for the first week, seeing as the Bledisloe Cup is a little bit earlier on rather than all three of us. But yeah, second week, hopefully we will be able to get all three of us in for some sort of thing. Now working hard, the Exeter Chiefs, 17 minutes left in this contest. And Capstick tries to make his way through your lives. A really awesome one. Learns a lot about different aspects of sport. Thanks, says Bianca. Thank you very much. Do hugely appreciate it. This is a really clutch game, but I'm expecting one of the teams to pull away now. Says Willie Explore. Oh, my voice trying to cut out. So, Willie, question for you. Which team do you think is going to run away? I think I spoke too soon about Wales, says Carl. They were $100 underdogs, and now they're firing back as if they're going to win the match. And also, no matter how much you suck, you don't suck more than Riley Reid, says Sebastian. And I now know who she is only because you guys mentioned her on that other live stream. I feel like, in a way, Sebastian, you and George, you guys are the ones who take innocent Hamish and teach him about the world. You know? He doesn't know too much. Oh, that's close. Yeah, I don't know too much about the old finer things of life. That's close. He's on his back again. I think it's going to be another goal line dropout. They just survived the Tigers. And I reckon Tigers, other than that, is a wet finger in the air, says Willie Explorer. And your porn connoisseurs, says Sebastian. Right. Currently, Wales are sitting 19 points to 26 down. And wait, says Nathan. And Blitzbox didn't play their best because Chile got hammered by England and Scotland. Cheers, Yanri. Wait, Chile got hammered by England and Scotland? Chile beat Scotland in their game. Scotland actually went to Golden Point with them, and then they ended up losing in the end, which was quite a surprise. And no corn hub, my guy, says Nathan. See, I didn't even know like half of the stuff that I get taught by George and Sebastian. In fact, probably more than half. As you guys know, I pretty much stream and then do nothing else. I pretty much either stream, film, edit, sleep, or eat. Those are my things. And outside of that, I mean, I went golfing the other day. That was something that was quite nice to do. What else have I done recently? Not a lot. I kick the rugby ball down at the ground every once in a while. Like down at the rugby ground, I should say, not literally down at the ground. I can get a bit more height on it than that. Now back across Jack Knoll, trying to break through. The Chiefs have not given up here. They've just been on attack after attack after attack, but the Leicester Tigers defence does not want to allow them to break their way through. Nice short ball off to yours. No, they decide against going to him, instead going to the other side. And do you at least touch grass sometimes? But I'm slightly allergic to grass, I think. Believe it or not. I actually come out slightly spotty. That's a fun fact, isn't it? But I'm not too bad overall. Like me, George, and Daniel, we went down and had a kickabout at the local rugby grounds last weekend, or the weekend before that, I think it was. And then we went down to the creek, just pretty much just walked around, which is quite nice. Like a little bit of a break from sitting in this chair. But then I was straight back in the chair later on in that day, I think it was. Nice run from yours. Now recycling quickly. Inside ball from Maunda. They look so close to getting over the line, the Exeter Chiefs. But like I mentioned, the Tigers' defence, there's a reason they won the championship last year. On gaming, don't forget gaming. Yeah, even gaming-wise, I haven't sat down and played a game other than I every once in a while get to play like 2 matches of a FIFA career mode with Dad. Every like once in a while. But other than that, other than filming videos, I don't actually get to game much, which is why strategically, if I want to play games, me and George have to film. I thought rugby was cancelled, says the Big V8 show, only on the first day, which now that game's going to be taking place very soon. Good tackle made low. Currently 5 metres out from the line. The Exeter Chiefs are yet to give in. It's going to be the penalty. South Africa not doing bad. 85 for 3 in the cricket could get England out for 120 or 150. And also stay single, Hamish. It's cheaper. My partner spends everything, says Nathan. And hope you're all doing well, says the Big VH Show. I am indeed. Hope you are doing well also. Currently, Exeter Chiefs, they're working very hard to try and go in and agree. I agree in the cricket, says Willie. And Oz at the Big V8 Show. Hope you're well, mate. And also 33-19 to Canada. Okay, so Canada, you'd have to think now have secured it, but it's just very hard to tell, isn't it? They're still pre-match, though. As soon as you have a game go to extra time, pretty much throws off all the timings of the games, which is why I did actually set my live stream for England versus Kenya to start at 4 a.m. We are going to be covering that game straight after this one, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do enjoy your sevens, be sure to check that out as well. Although it's going to be quite a tight squeeze because we've got 14 minutes left of this game and there's another injury. And USA versus Uruguay up next and doing all right. Just picked up a saxophone. Nice. We can have a jam session. The Big V8 Show. What songs do you know? Do you know Happy Birthday? I hope you know Happy Birthday. Thank you. I also know this will be one that my South African viewers do enjoy. I can sustain a note for more than 2 seconds. Lovely. I can duel you on the guitar, though, says the Big V8 Show. Okay, this might be a yellow card. In fact, this might be a red card. And also, Leicester Tigers all the way, says Spider-Mick. And also, we have got there, all is good on my side. Hope all is well on your side, my guy. Definite contact to the head. It's never good when the referee's starting to get up to about the 3rd or 4th finger. I think that's is a yellow card. And the Sava anthem sounded brilliant. Nice, says Sebastian. And also, bravo, Hamish, says Spider-Mick. So it's going to be a yellow card against, I believe, the Exeter Chiefs #1. So that's a shame for Alec Hepburn because now they are going to be going from having all of that momentum to now having to try and find it again. Okay, Leicester Tigers about to kick this one into touch. This is going to be a really close finish in terms of this game and the sevens, or when the sevens starts. I have a feeling. I'm just going to have a quick look. I'm going to go to Spark. Where are we? We've got many tabs. We're going to go to Spark, and I'm actually going to load up the 7 so I can see when that next game is going to be starting. One moment. We're going to go like that and like that. I see Lucas Lecamp has just scored the try in the USA game. There we go. We have set that up. It's going to be kicked in behind. The bounce was awkward, and it's going to be the knock-on from Murivalu. Not what he would have wanted. And also, you will see, will you see YouTube as your full-time job for about next 10 years, or see it as a part-time job? It's probably going to be, I always say it's my full-time job based on how much time I spend doing stuff based around YouTube, but it's my part-time job when it comes to the income of the YouTube channel. So I've actually been doing a lot more work with Dad recently, doing a bit of building. So more than likely, I'll be picking up a part-time building job for the weeks, and then on the weekends, I'll be able to work. The good news with that is because, like, Dad would be my boss. He's very understanding of when I have streams and when I don't. So I probably did about maybe 10 hours of work during last week doing a bit of building and whatnot. So it wasn't too bad overall. I managed to squeeze in YouTube and building, and it will slowly become a little bit more of a maybe 20 to 25 hours a week of building, just so that I can keep on doing YouTube as consistently as I have been. That makes sense. And I need to switch up my UPS soon. Load shedding coming up. Says Carl Peterson and 7-0 for the USA in the 3rd minute. Don Brandt just scored a try and converted his try. Don Brandt is kicking. Wait, Alex. We're talking Alex Don Brandt. Sebastian? How close are they? Aren't they close in that game? Why are they giving it? Oh, wait, no. No, it's not Alex Don Brandt, is it? Or is it? No. Is it Alex? Surely not. If it is, that is scary, the fact that that man also has kicking in his arsenal. And what other options did they have other than him? If he's... Alex Dombrandt scored. I'll also how many Kiwis involved for both sides. So in this game, Jimmy Goffith, he is going to be there. And then also, other than that, we don't have too many other Kiwis scattered throughout these two sides. We've got Solomon Katu, who plays in the New Zealand competition. And yes, Alex, says Sebastian. And that's why Hamish, Dad is your boss, says Nathan. And there as well. But yeah, it is quite good fun because not only do I get to do some building, I get to earn money at the same time, but I also get to spend the whole day like working with my dad, which I feel like is something that some people don't get the opportunity to do. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. I got to hammer in some nails. I hammered my finger real good the other day because I forgot that was not what I was supposed to be hitting. That's going to be the knock-on penalty going the way of the Leicester Tigers, I believe. Right, what we're quickly going to do, ladies and gentlemen, while we have got another stoppage in play, because there's been quite a few stoppages. They take the quick tap. Actually, it's going to be the penalty in favour of the Exeter Chiefs, I should say. They're getting close at the moment here. Held up again. Leicester's defence from the goal line is absolutely incredible. And it's saving them big time in this game. And I was like, you're all set, my guy. And the number 8 Gorilla has kicking abilities as well. Now, Ewers just hold. How have they done that 4 times in a row? They have stopped them from building over. Surely, if you are Exeter Chiefs, you decide to go possibly out wide. If you've been stopped every time around the side of the breakdown, getting held up, turned onto your back, fire it out your back line. You got Jack Noel out on the wing. That man got tattoos inside of his ear. That's how you know he's the real deal. And 12-7 USA says Carl. And wait, there's a Gorilla. And Hamish, if your feet smell and your nose runs, you know you're upside down. So sit up straight when your nose runs. Okay. Fair enough. I'll be honest, half of that went over my head for a start, but I understand what you're saying. And it has been running a bit today. All my legs certainly don't run, though. They only fast walk. About as speedy as I get. Now I'm going to be just short of the 40-metre line now for the Exeter Chiefs. I want to see them use that back line. They've taken Jack Noel off, and that is actually going to be for Kenny. And people underestimate the value of good defence. Sometimes saving a 5-pointer is better than scoring one yourself to get the psychological advantage. Exactly right. And Leicester Tigers, so many times throughout last season, cancelled out their opposition by being able to get themselves just some brilliant work from the forwards, and also the backs get involved and just stop any any attack from going through. Woodburn, nice run, tackled. But I believe that time it would have been Muri Valu buried underneath that breakdown, driving forward. But yeah, I think they need to use their back line, get it to one-on-one defence rather than going 1-on-3. Perry Baker might have been very mid in this tournament. Says it was a Carl, currently Kirsten, runs forward, Maunder goes across. This is looking better now. It's going to be Rory O'Loughlin in that midfield. The Leinster man now. Woodburn knocks it on. The pass just a little bit too far behind him from his big forwards. And also USA. Schickerling getting that pass wrong, though. Oh, he's got cramp, and actually Muri Valu is the man who grabs his foot and gives him a stretch as well. That's good sportsmanship from Muri Valu. And the Quins won, says Sebastian. Did they? They managed to win the game? How were they? So if the Quins are finished, how have we still got 10 minutes left in this game? Did we have like a massively long halftime break in this game compared to any other matchup? Because 10 minutes left is a long time to still have. But yeah, Harlequins winning 40 points to 31. Looks like London Irish are going to be beating Worcester. And this game is still going. I'm not behind in the coverage, am I? No, I'm up to date, and they are still going. And then the other games, I want to say that London Irish versus Worcester is still a little bit behind as well. But it's going to be a tight squeeze get into the Kenyan game, that is for sure, after this one. So what we're going to do while they are setting the scrum, I'm actually going to get the next live stream set up, if that's all good with everyone, just to make sure that we are all ready to rumble once again, because we've only got the one. Hey, that's my alarm of the time I was going to wake up. Now, another scrum taking place. Trying to get that penalty. They've got the advantage. That is all the Leicester Tigers were after now. Muri Valu. He's got the speed down the wing, the step and feet as well, but he's been taken down in a great tackle made by the number 15, Joe Simmons. Now the counter ruck coming from the Exeter Chiefs. Not able to stop it though. Now going forward, George Martin. Back across. Thokina Singer gives it a nice little boot. It's going to sit just over the top of Harry Potter. I got a deduction between these two in a 100-metre sprint. Perry Baker versus... Oh, that's a hard name to say, isn't it? It's a really hard name to say, Nathan. Why do you have to pick him? Why couldn't you go like, I don't know, Tuisova? Or someone with a nice, easy name? I mean, I'd say Perry Baker just so I didn't have to say the other guy's name. And also the lads were having a pint in the changing room at halftime in honour of Her Majesty. They need some extra minutes to shake off the alcohol, says Sebastian. But I think this is one of the longest Gallagher Premiership matches I have seen, which sounds weird to say. But the halftime break was really, really long. Worcester are making a comeback, and let's call them RC. And that is a lot easier to say than RC, or than the other one. And I'm sorry, my guys. I mean, he's pretty quick though, RC. I'm terrible at saying his name, though, because that's one of those names that you know that the C's are T's or th. So it's like, no, I'm not going to embarrass myself saying it. RC. Or would you say RC or would you say RT? No, that was just my Fijian fun pun. My Fijian fun pun needs to be a regular segment on the channel, I think. Oh, that's a rough pass from Mr. Potter. Gone too low. To Scott on the outside, and be right back, guys. Be right back, guys, says Carl. Like they're saying, it's frustrating at the moment for these two sides. And Know You Live, says Rooster there. Yeah, I thought I was behind because of how long it had taken. We've still got another 7 minutes left of this contest. And it's going to be a 2-hour match for 2 40-minute halves, which theoretically is an hour and 20, and then 15 minutes of break. Even that's meant that they've gone very long. And I was reckon I feed jokes like I woke up to an absolute surprise, which is that Fijian versus Samoan quarterfinal live stream that I scheduled has got like 60 likes. It's got a few dislikes as well, of course, but 60 likes on it, whereas all the other ones have like 5, if that. And there's just that one with 60. I was a Kakane Buka. So is the C set as a C for his name rather than the TH, like Tokina Singer, as they said there. Also, Thanakai Vata, another example there where the C is involved, where it becomes the th. Now, 74 minutes through. Another backline movement starting to open up here for the Exeter Chiefs if they want to use it, although it looks like now Maunda is going to roll it back, and they do want to go for another box hit. But yeah, London Irish versus Worcester has also gone quite long. Although I should mention the game did start 5 minutes later than it was supposed to. So maybe that is why it just seems like it's gone that extra bit of time. Muri Valu taking it nicely. Oh, little knock on the ground. And that's what the team or the crowd were saying on this near side. Muri Valu, little mistake there. And the scrum feed now going to go the way of the Exeter Chiefs. 1 minute 22 left on the clock. Currently 6 minutes 30 left on the Uruguay game up against the USA. Uruguay actually leading that one 14 points to 12. So a good start to the match for Uruguay. Or Uruguay, sorry, I should say. I'm just wondering. I'm looking at the clock and all sorts. So by the time that game finishes, it will be about maybe 20 past, and then I'll cook some food, have that food, and then we've got about 7 quarterfinal matches back to back to back to back. Other than one game that we're missing, which is USA versus Canada. We are going to be missing that one in the women's game because we will be filming our post-match review of Fiji versus Samoa, plus getting set up for that last South Africa versus Ireland, which we will be starting a little bit earlier than the match does start. So it's a bit busy for the night, I should say. Are you going to be buying the pay-per-view, Sebastian, for that UFC, by the way? Do let me know. Also, you, Nathan, if you are a UFC man, Sebastian, and also Rooster. And then also a little bit earlier on, do you enjoy UFC as well, Willie? Do let me know. Hopefully that is everyone. And also your scoreboard doesn't move. No, it is relatively slow sometimes. Now it's gone up to 77 minutes, so it's slightly wrong. 4 minutes left and going to have some tea as well. Or, yeah, going to have some tea. Good option in the middle. And also, Castres is destroying Stade Francais. Do they still have Nadi Laumape at Stade Francais, or has he gone overseas again? No, sorry, he's heading to Japan, isn't he? 100 for the UFC and not much of a UFC guy. And you've got me, says Carl. I think I gave you a very brief mention. I wasn't sure if you were back yet. So I was going to ask you when I did see that you had made your way back to the stream. Now, nice work from the Exeter Chiefs, ball on the arse. Another mistake. It's a close game. Very close game, though. Don't get me wrong. Very close. And anyway, Leicester and Exeter, says Nathan, in time for a cuppa, says Spider Mech. And yeah. It's good work until the tackle was made and it's a knock on. Again, 3.5 minutes left now. Currently 5 minutes left in the USA versus Uruguay game. I'm looking at all the clocks extremely closely. So straight after this game, unfortunately, we probably won't have much of time for a post-match review just because it's going to be pretty much instantly that we are switching over, making sure we get all organised and ready to go as well. They're showing David Still on the USA game. He's a very decent man. Also, my name is for you. I've got you, my guy, Carl Peterson. I got you, says Nathan. And then I think I made a very, very, very fast mention of Carl. I'd have to see a live action replay. I think for half a second, I was like, Sebastian, Nathan, Carl. I just thought it was on Carl in there, and then Rooster, and the Rooster in there. Was your name always Rooster, or was it something else? Do let me know, Rooster, because I want to say you could be a regular, but I want to say it used to be a different name. That's going to be the penalty now going the way of the Leicester Tigers. 2.5 minutes left. Another try scored by the London Irish. And the game of La Rochelle narrowly beaten Lyon 21 points to 23. Yeah, they did well in the end, Lyon, to fight back the way that they did because they were down by a lot of points at the start of that game. Well, of course, not at the start, but early on in that game, La Rochelle started extremely well. Interesting. I'm on the top 14 and we'll go here. Yeah, they scored in the 76th minute and the 79th minute, but it just wasn't quite enough. Also scoring in the 57th minute. So at halftime, it was 10-0. I'm just going to have a look to see if Tuisova was playing. He was not. Not in the starting lineup anyway, and not off the bench. I see they've got Kyle Godwin, though, in the midfield. Nice to see him making his way in. Baptiste Coulieu. And thanks for the stream. We'll see you for the 7, says Rooster. So yeah, we will be transferring straight over to that next live stream as soon as this one has finished. But now the Exeter Chiefs, the crowd are starting to get behind them. They want to see a last minute try, and Jack Noel wants to give them one. Now back across. The Chiefs in possession. They've had a majority of it in the last little while. Skinner. Now one more on the outside. It's gone to Schreckling. What's he doing on the wing? He's got his pants around his ankles. That's what he's doing. Because Murivalu has just pulled them down. Now Maunda around the side. It's an offside advantage. And it's the penalty to Exeter Chiefs. Right, do they kick for the 3 or do... Okay, it looks like he's saying go for the corner, Maunda. So Maunda wants this game at 1:30 left. Says Carl, yeah, it's going to be a close one. And also we have got there, UFC is awesome, says Rooster. In there as well. Right, 40 seconds here. Simmons wants the corner. They don't want the draw. They feel that the kick is an unlikely option and you need to put a win over the top of the Leicester Tigers if you want a good chance of making it to the playoffs. And well, let's go do it for the Queen. Wait, the King, says Nathan. Okay. It was not a best kick, but the commentators, they're giving him a lot of stick. But at the end of the day, imagine if he had put it dead. That would have been an absolutely massive mistake. So that's why they decided to put it into touch 10 meters out, go for a bit of a different tactic. Now Ewers goes forward. If this is held up, this will be the end of the game. If not, it is going to be a try for Exeter or at least the Tigers win. Those are the 3 options. We've got close run Hepburn. Man coming back from his yellow card, Leicester Tigers defence. You've got to sling it wide. You get held up every day of the week if you Exeter Chiefs. They're over. They're over. And Schickerling has won the game for the Exeter Chiefs. Leicester Tigers, defending champs, have gone down in round one. And it's become a dog pile. And now everyone's pushing and shoving. Everyone's happy, having a great time. But also, it's only one way because the Exeter Chiefs have been able to win it in front of their home crowd. Will you still be there for the 7th time? So certainly will. So the next game that we are doing is Kenya versus England. That starts in about 2 minutes. And Uruguay beating USA well, says Yanri now. And also it was Chris. Here you go. In they go. Chris Schickerling. I believe it was, wasn't it? Got himself over the line. Just driving hard. And it's the try to the Chiefs. What a moment. Now lining up the kick. This kick doesn't really matter, but it's gone over anyway. 24 points to 20. And the win for the Exeter Chiefs. That is massive for them. Leicester Tigers, you can see there, Liebenberg is gutted with the result. But that is the end of this match, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all very much for tuning into the match. We are going to be back for the sevens in about 1 minute time on the Kiwi Lads channel. So be sure to pop over for that as well. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you all back for the next one.